certain, things out of your diet. So it's been minimal. But generally, when I'm teaching weight loss, when I'm coaching weight loss, normally carbs are on limits. Like, I recommend them. And because I'm going to talk about this actually. Let me go live here on Instagram. I spoke about this. I mentioned it on someone's Facebook post earlier. They said they've been doing carnivore. Hey guys. Carnivore diet, which is basically when you only eat meat and only eat like animal products. And she was like, this isn't a dig at her, by the way. She was like, I haven't got any bloating. I feel great. My energy's up. And it's funny because they're the kind of conversations people have or things people say when they're on their vegan diet as well. So how can it be that only eating like plant-based foods or only eating animal-based foods both give the same result? How is that? And it's actually because people stop eating shit. Because when you're on a carnivore diet, you can't eat like sugar and stuff, right? So you can't eat chocolate, you can't eat crisps because it's high in carbs. But when you're on a plant-based diet, you're not eating shit because you can't have like chocolate or candy and stuff because they've got animal products in. So all of a sudden you're not eating like quote unquote shit and you're feeling better, your energy's up and you haven't got any bloating. So why not combine the two, have the benefits that come from plant-based diet, which is the fruit, the veg, the herbs, the seeds, the spices, all the things that will actually help your gut and your brain and your body generally and your energy and stop you bloating and all that, and the benefits from the meat-based diet or the carnivore diet, which is less bloating because you're not eating as much shit, more energy, more nutrients. Like, why can't we do both? Why does it have to be like one or the other? It doesn't have to be extreme to work. I'm doing the same thing, but try and stay in a calorie deficit, but eating a lot of food. Yes, that's called volume eating. And you're looking for high volume foods. So like popcorn, right? Like low calorie popcorn. You could have like bags and bags, big bags for the same amount of calories as you would like just one chocolate bar. And what's going to fill you up more? Something that is like big in space but high in big in space but low in calories, or small in space but high in calories. And that's volume eating. Volume eating at its finest. Like, have you ever tried to eat like 1,000 calories of broccoli? Have you ever tried that? It'd be bloody solid. You'd be throwing up, you'd be heaving, you'd be like, so full. So that's why you go for the variety. But that's also why people get full up on these like high volume foods, because they're literally like very, very little calories for a lot of density, a lot of food. Hey, Lenka. So that's a good plan. I approve. Hey guys, what is up? If you're watching the replay on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, say hi, say hashtag replay. I want to see you. And I wasn't doing a full shebang of makeup. I was just saying to TikTok that I was going to attempt to put fake eyelashes on as well today, but I don't know if I can be bothered. I've got such a busy day. Like, when you start a task and you're like, I need to do this, 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 and this, and you're like, I'll just fill out this form or I'll just do this thing. It'll only take 20 minutes and then you're there till like 1 a.m. doing it and you still haven't finished or started the other tasks that you're supposed to be doing. That happened to me the other night. And then yesterday I carried on doing that task and it's still not fucking finished. It's still not complete. What am I looking for, guys? This is ridiculous. Okay. How are you doing, Lenka? How's everything? So, taxes is my issue at the minute. I'm just doing my bloody tax. No. This is also my issue, is that I've just got foundation all over everywhere. Just take off my leg, but my face is fine. Classy bird I am. Yeah, so that's what I was doing. So tonight, from about 4 o'clock till about 11 p.m. tonight, I'm chock-a-block with calls, doing a live. I've got a special announcement in my live tonight. It's not going to be on TikTok. Apologies. It is only on Facebook. So if you're in, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but if you're on that app, then you can go to my bio and there's a group in the link And that is the group where I'm going to make the special announcement tonight. Exciting. TikTok Wellness Girly, I think it is. Are you weight training also, or like exercising also? Or are you just not eating? Not eating very much. So the foods, so I've kind of spoken about like high volume foods already. That wasn't the plan, but I have spoken about it. And maybe I'll take this live in a different direction as to what I was going to. So I'm going to be doing like a full YouTube on this, and it will be out in 2 weeks' time. Because I need to write it, I need to film it, and then actually get it edited, sent to my editor, and then he needs to put it out. So it'll be out in a couple of weeks. But I can give you a sneak preview of what I'm going to talk about, and I'll talk about it a little bit here, and you can take and implement. And then by the time it comes out, you're going to be like, I'm not ready to do on this because I saw you live that one time. Okay, let's see. So when I first started losing weight, I did some silly things. I did some silly things. I thought it was about just eating less and moving more, right? Because that's what everybody says. But the lowest distracted me. My brain cannot concentrate. But actually, it's not about that because there's only so little you can eat before you starve, and there's only so much you can move before you run out of time, or your body full on breaks down, isn't it? So that is the silly thing to do. I was doing like a ton of cardio. I didn't care what I was eating. I was just making sure that I was eating as little as possible. So if I wanted like a chocolate bar or something, I would have that. But then I'd sacrifice like, chicken or an actual meal to be able to have it, which is obviously no good at all. So there's a couple of things that then when I started learning about this stuff and got qualified and all that kind of stuff, and did my own research of what actually you do need to eat to lose weight and what makes it more difficult as well. What's going to sabotage it? When I was working at the uni, I went to like some research because I used to work with academic researchers, and I used to basically translate their very difficult language into everyday language. And so one of the things that I went to see, or one of the researchers I spoke to, was talking about kids eating, being fussy eaters and struggling to eat certain things or not wanting to eat, and the impact on that, and overeating and all those kinds of things. And one of the things she said was, first of all, it takes around 28 times to try something to actually like it. So if you don't like spinach, for example, if you try it 28 times, your taste buds should adjust to it, and then you should be able to eat it, no problem. I think the only thing that they said you couldn't do that with was sprouts, something to do with the acidity in that. But anyway, I digress. The other thing she said was, if you have if you eat things in a variety of ways, the more variety it is, the more likely you are to overeat or eat. So, when you're on like when you're eating ice cream, and you haven't got just the vanilla, right? You haven't just got vanilla. You've got the full on Ben and Jerry's Arctic something with the polar bears and what's a palette? And everything. It's not just like, it's got the little chocolate fudge in there, it's got the little polar bears, it's got, what else does it have in there? Like a marshmallow swirl or something it's got in there as well, isn't it? And then it's got like white chocolate and vanilla ice cream, I think. Something like that. I don't know what it was called. But anyway, there's a new Dr. Gillette one out now, and I really want to try that, but I can't right now. But you're more likely to overeat on that, not just because of the calories, but actually the actual quantity of it. You're more likely to eat on that as well. So if you are prone to overeating, which most people are, and that's why they're overweight, you're probably prone to overeating. So if that is you, one of the easiest hacks you can do is eat plain, boring foods, because it's unlikely you will overeat on that. So things like having plain chicken. Have you ever eaten a plain chicken breast? Boring as shit. Boring as shit. And You just don't want it anymore. You're like, oh my God, I'm full. I don't want any of that. I don't want any more of that. Versus eating like a hunter's chicken or a barbecue chicken or, breaded chicken or something, because then it's got a variety, it's got different tastes, different textures, and that's what's going to make you want to overeat. So that is like one of the hacks that I would highly, highly recommend if you're prone to overeating. Same as even just a chocolate bar, although I don't know, I think I could have definitely overeaten on chocolate bar, but that would be another one. So instead of having like fruit and nut, have just like plain chocolate, even dark chocolate. That's a good one to work with actually, because not many people can eat a ton of it. I can. I'm a skilled chocolate eater, but having something like that would be really beneficial if you're prone to overeating on chocolate. Have something plain, something you don't love but you enjoy it, so like dark chocolate. Make that swap, and that should really help as well. But other than that, the foods you need to eat. I was talking to someone on TikTok earlier when I was setting up everything else. She was saying that she'd eaten lots of foods, but she's in a calorie deficit. And then I was talking. I think you may have been like halfway. I may have been halfway through when you come in, but I was talking about high, like volume eating, basically volume eating, which means you eat a lot of food, gram wise, and space wise, for not many calories. And that's a really good hack as well, because it literally fills your stomach up and then you can't eat anymore. And I think we've all got to realize and admit to ourselves that we are overeaters, and often we don't feel full, not because we're not full, but because we want the extra thing. Have you guys ever, put in the chat, have you guys ever gone out for a meal and you're like, oh my God, I'm so full, and you couldn't eat the rest of your like steak or whatever it is, and then someone, the waiter comes and like, do you want dessert? We're like, yes. Show me the dessert menu. And then we have dessert. And then someone says, I thought you were full. I was, and now I'm not. No, never too full for dessert, right? And so that's part of it. We need to admit that that's actually happening, so that we can then be like, okay, well, I need to work on my relationship with hunger and my relationship with being full. So they are some of the things I would recommend. And then when it comes to actually eating, yes, high volume foods, yes, quote unquote boring foods, right? Not highly palatable is the correct word I'm looking for here. Not highly palatable foods. Hey, Joanna, you always have space for dessert. Exactly. Which is great if you're trying to eat more, like some people are like, oh, I can't eat anymore. And then they see dessert and great. But if you're trying to lose weight, it's not so great. So in terms of actually eating, what you want to look for are two different things: quality of calories and well, that's the main thing actually, but also like the unprocessedness. That's not really a word, but the unprocessedness of the food. So how readily available is it in nature? So if I sent you to a mountain or like a farmland or somewhere that there was like no excuse me, no shops, no factories, or whatever, I just sent you to this land, and I said to you, you can eat wherever you can find. The foods that you eat would be like fruit and veg, stuff you would pick. And then if you were brave enough, you would kill some animals and you'd eat the animals too, right? We don't need to go that extreme, but we do need to think about like, if I was in this world, could I find this wherever this food is? So I always say like you can pick, I don't know, mushrooms, and you can kill a cow to get some steak, or some pork to get some pigs to get some pork chops, but you cannot pick a loaf of bread off a tree, right? Because it's processed. So if you can't pick it or kill it, you should limit that food to about 20% of the time of your food, right? So sorry, I can't concentrate on two things here. Fuck. Let's try again. No, well, I'm having big brows today because I just screwed that up. Yeah, so if you are, and it comes back to that conversation I started with earlier, with the fact that people who want to do like carnivore diets or plant-based diets always feel really good, but it's not because of what they're eating, it's because what they're not eating. They're not eating processed foods. They're not stuffing their face with cookies or ice cream or whatever, because neither of those things are allowed on either of the diets that I just mentioned. Oh god, guys, where's my all over there? Oh no, fuck this. It's fine. Need to wash. It's fine. But the main things that I ate and what I'm eating now. So I was talking to Cam about this. So I'm on this aggressive diet, and it is, yes, it is hard. But I was saying I think it'll be hard to come off of this diet because I'm so used to seeing like the scales go down pretty much every day. Although they did go up today, but almost every day the scales go down. I weigh the next day, the scales go down. I weigh the next day, the scales go down, and that is very much that's a drive-in, it's a motivation, isn't it? That you lose weight every single day. It would make you want to do it. But when I have to reverse diet out and when I've hit my goal and I need to start eating like a normal human being again, I think that's going to be really hard mentally because I'll see the scales go up, but also because for eating such low calories for a long period of time, it could go one of two ways. And this is what I'm worried about with people who are thinking about doing an aggressive diet, is they could be fine and reverse diet out. They could eat what they're eating now and then add a couple of more 100 calories or whatever onto it. Or they could go, oh my god, I've missed whatever the food is, and then they're going to binge on it. And I think there's going to be a real challenge for me. I will document it, of course, so you guys can watch me suffer. I mean, navigate through this. But I think it's important to know that. But anyway, so typically what I eat and what I ate to lose the 40 pounds in the first place were protein-based foods. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Dr. Jim Stepani. He was like my hero. I have to move you, TikTok, sorry. He was my hero when I first started trying to lose weight. And I asked him once on a live, I was thrilled because he answered my question. I was like, does it matter how much, if I go over my calories, doesn't matter if I go over my calories, if I hit my protein? And he said no. So that for me was the go ahead of eat as much as you want, as long as you hit your protein. And I think that was like a real change in my approach to nutrition, because I was always like trying to restrict myself, trying to stick under a certain amount of calories. But actually then when I had that like seal of approval from this guy, then I was much more free. I was able to eat a lot more. And then my gym performance increased, which meant that my body changed. My confidence improved. So there was so many different benefits from it. But so that's the first thing, protein, right? If you need some protein, message me. If you need some I don't know. If you need some advice on how much protein you need and how to hit it, then you just message me with the word protein and I will get back to you on that. Or just message me asking me a question and I'll answer you. I will get back to you. I'm a little bit behind because of the tax issue, which has taken me a long time to try and fix. But protein is the first thing. And for me, that looked like chicken, especially if you've got an air fryer or like Ninja. They're so easy. And you can also get like pre-cooked things now that you just reheat. They are lifesavers, like chicken skewers, for example. And so chicken is like the first thing that needs to be in the shopping list. And then eggs. Eggs all the time. Just eat eggs if you can handle them. So you've got eggs, And then you've got beef. I like to use beef mince. So like lean ground beef. Oh, let's see. Yeah, lean ground beef I like to use as well. And then like protein cheese, if you can, like low calorie cheese. That gonna stay? Maybe no. No, no. And then turkey mince, chicken mince even. Um, they're like my main go-tos, to be honest. But you can have fish, tuna. That's another one of my go-tos. Tuna. Um, but basically anything that is like a lowish in calories and has high protein. So what you're looking for is around 20 to 25 grams of protein per 100 calories. Like that is the like gold standard of how to know whether something's actually high protein. Because marketing agencies and marketing in businesses are allowed to say high protein if they are high compared to their normal. So let's say you get cornflakes and there's like 0.2 grams of protein in it. Then when they add protein in it, now there's like 1 gram. They're like high protein. It's like, well, it's not high protein because 1 gram is like 400 calories, but it's higher than what your standard is. So yes, technically, legally, you're allowed to say that. Just move you back a little bit. So just be careful when it comes to those kinds of things as well. So you're looking for about 20 to 25 grams per 100 grams of weight. So 25 grams protein, 100 grams of food. That's what you're looking for. Or per 100 calories, actually. Per 100 calories would be easier. So that's what you're looking for. And then, like, a shit ton of veg, guys. Like, you don't need to have carbs at every meal. You can do, but you don't need it. So instead, just go for veg. Like, give yourself a week. Oh, God. God, guys, what have I done? Give yourself a week where you only eat a starch carb like 1 time a day. This could be any, right? It could be any starch carb, but just choose one a day. I would recommend, hey, Crystal, I'd recommend like potato, sweet potato, white rice. You could use brown rice or jasmine rice and quinoa. They're like the main, and oats, of course. So if you give yourself a week, maybe I'll run that as like a little challenge in the group perhaps and see how we feel after that. That would be a really good one. But that's going to make a big, big difference, not just physically, but also with how you feel as well. So I'd recommend doing that. Get loads of veg. And then on the weekend, I wouldn't have like a cheat meal, but I would have something that I wanted. So it wouldn't be like, first of all, I would never use the word cheat. That is like the worst thing you could ever say. But instead, you're like, do you know what? I've been fancying a donut all week, and now I'm going to have one. You do not need 8 because you've suffered for a week. Just have one. And if you're full halfway through, or you're like, oh, do you know what? I've hit this is fine. I like it. And then you can just leave the rest. Like, people are like, I don't like to waste. And I'm like, well, it's either going to waste or on your waste. Like, make that choice. Make that choice. You've already paid for it. The money's gone. So now you can either eat it and be pissed off at yourself because you were full, or you didn't want any more. Now you've gained loads of weight, or you throw it. Just be like, no, or give it to someone else. Share with your partner. But that's what I would do. And then I would strength train. Obviously, you guys know all about this. And then I would strength train, and that's when I started to change the way I look and how I performed, my confidence, and the two of those together, the food and the exercise, are what allowed me to lose the weight essentially and build the muscle. So that's what and I drank a lot of tea because I drink black tea with milk. We don't use sugar. I never cut out anything. I never cut out gluten. I never cut out lactose. I never cut out anything. I just ate what I wanted essentially, as long as I was prioritizing my protein and I was eating vegetables and exercising. That was it. It's really not that difficult. I don't know why people make it So difficult. So that's basically it. I'm going to go live tonight in the group. I've got calls from 4 till 11 p.m. tonight, and two of those are, one of them's the live in the group, and the other one is our coaching client call. I'm teaching about meal planning in that. But tonight in the live in the group, I'm going to make an announcement. So if you are around, turn up, come, say hello. I want to see you in there. If you're on, where are we here? If you're on TikTok, go to my page, and then there's a link that takes you to a Facebook. I don't know if I say that. To another page on another platform. My group is there, so you can come join if you want to do that. And then this week, I've got a YouTube video coming out all about my aggressive diet journey, what it is, how many calories I was on, what I was doing, and still doing. Actually, I'm still on it. And then next week, I'm going to do a YouTube about the foods that I ate now and previously as well. It's going to be a little bit about like this, but more succinct. It'll be together, and I won't be distracted trying to do my makeup at the same time. So that's it. If you have not rated the podcast, make sure you do, because you're going to be in with a chance of winning $100. So if you're going to win 100 smackaroonies, then head to our podcast, which is Hangry and Hormonal. That is on Spotify. And I think that's it. I think that's basically everything. So if you need anything, got any questions, let me know, of course. Otherwise, I will speak to you guys on Facebook a little bit later on today.